Hey, welcome to Financial Fridays. I'm Mr. Eric Watson, here to get you on and keep you on the path to financial freedom. And I know I'm at it a little bit late tonight. However, I was enjoying my Juneteenth day today. So I was spending a little family time. So I'm getting at it a little bit late. So hopefully everyone can get to see this a little bit later or see the replay tomorrow. I don't plan to see too many people on here live, but I'm still going to get at it for my Financial Friday. All right. And what I want to talk about today is beware of shortcuts. Beware of shortcuts. And what I mean is shortcuts to your so-called financial freedom. All right. Beware of trying to cut corners or thinking that you're cutting corners to get to a place of financial freedom. And one of the main ones that comes to mind is with credit cards. You know, oftentimes people think that if they roll their credit card balance into a 0% credit card, and typically a credit card is 0% for a certain amount of time, maybe up to a year. 9 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever the case may be, but it's 0%. So there's no interest accrued on that balance for that time frame. All right. But one thing that people don't necessarily read in the fine print on those is the fact that when you roll that balance into that 0% credit card, if you don't pay that full balance off by the time that 0% time frame is up, however long it may be, then they backdate. They backdate all of the interest to the time that you first rolled that money into that card. So you end up paying tons of interest if you don't hurry up and pay it off. All right. So credit card companies do a lot of research on things like this. And the only reason they offer those credit cards for that reason, or for 0%, is because the research that they have done shows that people, for the most part, will not pay off that balance by the time that time frame is up. So they're going to end up paying all that interest to the bank. That is the only reason they offer that. It is not out of the kindness of their hearts. Okay, so beware of those 0% credit cards where it's just as simple as just roll your balance into this credit card. You don't pay any interest for 9 months. But if you don't pay it off by the end of that 9 months, you're going to pay a heap of money on top of that. Okay? All that interest will pile up. Another thing that comes to mind with regard to trying to shortcut your way to financial freedom is refinancing. And the two that come to mind are refinancing of student loans and refinancing of mortgages. All right. And in both cases, the thing you want to watch out for is, and I'll just use a mortgage as an example. Say you've owned your home for 10 years. So you're 10 years into a 30-year mortgage. So you have 20 years left to pay on that mortgage. You get it refinanced for another 30-year mortgage. Now, your payments may go down. All right. So you may have to pay less per month and you feel like, OK, I have more money in my pocket to be able to pay off other bills because this payment is a lot lower and I can pay off more debt that way. But you've also tacked on 10 more years to your mortgage. All right. And the same thing goes for student loans. When you get it refinanced, you may get a lower payment, but you're adding more time to pay off that loan. So you're prolonging the time that you can advance yourself to financial freedom. Right? Unless you're going to refinance that loan, say in the case of that mortgage, let's say you do have a 10 years into a 30-year mortgage, You have 20 years left and you refinance that into a 15-year mortgage. All right. Now, in that case, you're decreasing the time with which you're expected to be able to pay off that home and achieve financial freedom. All right. It kind of forces you into that 15-year time frame, vice extending the time another 10 years. Yes, your payments may go up. However, if the objective is financial freedom, if your objective is to pay off all your debt, including your mortgage, then you want to decrease the time frame with which you have to pay off that mortgage. And the same thing with student loans. If you can afford to pay that increased monthly payment, then okay, I would advise refinancing into a shorter term to pay it off quicker. But if you're going to refinance into the same term or a longer term to prolong the time, it's not worth it. It's not a shortcut. It's not a shortcut at all. All right. A lot of people will look at the interest rates. All right. We have low interest rates right now. And again, same thing. If you're 10 years into a 20-year mortgage, you refinance into another 30-year mortgage with, these low interest rates, you're going to pay a whole lot less per month. However, unless you're a very disciplined budgeter and you're going to pay more on that mortgage than you owe per month religiously to pay it off sooner, then it's not worth it. It's not worth it. You just prolong the time that you have to pay off that mortgage. All right. And a lot of times, you'll say, okay, let's look at the numbers. I'll pay less interest if I just refinance now. That is true. But if you are a disciplined budgeter and you're paying your money off and you're rolling all that money, all that additional, and you're using that snowball method, right? And you're rolling all those additional payments into paying off your debt and then into paying off your mortgage. Okay, then you will get to a point where you negate all that additional interest because you're going to pay off that mortgage a whole lot sooner than expected. All right, so I just say beware of shortcuts. Sometimes it's best to hold what you got and just pay off the debt. Just pay down the debt instead of juggling mortgages and juggling credit cards and trying to move the balances here and there. Just pay it off. Pay it off. Don't look for shortcuts. Use discipline in your budgeting. Use that snowball method to pay down your debt, pay off your mortgage, and you'll get there. Decrease all your additional spending. You'll get there. But don't try to trick the system and try to take shortcuts. All right. I hope all of you all got something out of that. Again, shortcuts aren't necessarily short. All right. So just beware and don't worry about having to move your money around. Just pay it down. All right. So with that, I'm going to get out of here. Again, my apologies for getting at you so late with regard to Financial Fridays, but I had to enjoy my Juneteenth. All right. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Everyone have a blessed and prosperous evening. Until we meet again, I'm gone.